Looking back and speaking to my younger self at 8 years old, I would tell her, be strong. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. What that boy did to you was not your fault. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be scared to talk about what happened. It's okay that you don't understand. But one day you will. The truth of the matter is, you kept just holding everything in, and you were hurting people because you were hurt. You were surrounded by people who didn't understand you. The older you got, the more it hurt. The more it was harder to contain. Which is why you rebelled, cut school, got involved, doing things you should not be doing, getting involved in a gang, running away from home, being disrespectful to those that loved you and really did try to help. But all you saw it as was someone trying to contain this rage that was living inside of me. People did try to help me, but I was not ready to get help. Instead, it escalated. Ended up dropping out of high school, living in the streets because I was always getting kicked out. It's like, as things started to get better, there was just a target on me because it happened again. And this time, it happened with me and 2 of my cousins. Again, I had to tell myself, that was not your fault either. What he did to you guys had nothing to do with you. Chin up and move on. But I did not move on. I just continued, hide my feelings, and just express anger. Unhealthy coping mechanisms came. The partying and the drinking escalated down to me doing things like drugs, which eventually took over my life. At 21, you had your own apartment, you had been there for years, and you lost it because of drugs. You started to couch hop and pretty much just be in the streets. There were times you were homeless because that drug was just more important. And you didn't mind being homeless because you weren't scared. You lied, you cheated, you hurt those that loved you. Part of you didn't want to hurt these people, but then again, you weren't yourself. So you hurt a lot of people that loved you. And that's why you lost a lot of good people that were in your life. Because eventually people just get tired. You tried so many times to get sober until you decided, you know what? Let's get out of South Carolina. Let's go to Colorado. Let's start fresh. Let's start new. I can do this. I was 23 years old and I got on a bus from South Carolina and I moved to Denver. Colorado was so beautiful. It was so different. I'm only used to New York, the city, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and then the South. But to come here, the mile-high city, and see these beautiful mountains, I was in love. These people didn't know me. These people didn't know what I went through. It was refreshing. It really felt like I can start over. I got a job. I got a car. I got my own apartment. I was loving my life in Colorado. And things were great until they weren't. I fell back into old habits, and those unhealthy coping mechanisms snuck their way in to this new life that I created here in Colorado. It only got worse. Didn't take too long for me to lose my truck. Didn't take long for me to lose my apartment. Here I am in Denver, homeless again. Yet, as I'm sitting in the park waiting for this lady to give us sandwiches, she always comes to the park at a certain time, and she gives us bag lunches with food in it and drinks and hygiene, I was waiting for her, and I never once felt like, Ellie, what are you doing? Why are you in this position? I didn't feel bad at all. I was numb because this was my life. So why would it be any different because this is what I was doing prior? Anything to numb this pain that was inside of me, I convinced myself was worth it. But just like with everything else, you get tired. You get tired of living that way. You get tired of being a letdown. You just get tired. and you want more. You want better. So I did that. I each day took baby steps. Changed my friends because they were all using, got a different job. The programs never worked for me. But out of the box therapy did. Before you know it, it was 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 3 years. I'm so happy to say I'm now celebrating over a decade. So that means I've been sober now more than I've been using, which is a huge accomplishment. Things were going great. And my life in Colorado, I just ended up with the wrong person who ended up giving me my child. And I was so grateful because of all the other miscarriages. I've always wanted to be a mother. I don't know. It's like I was meant to be a mom. And I was so blessed that I was able to have one, clean, sober, on track. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong guy. We should have never been a thing. But you know what? I got my son, my angel. If I had to go back and do it again, I'd do it again. I practice being responsible, paying bills, because, I never used to do things like that because I was always spending my money on drugs. I was about almost 8 months pregnant, and I all of a sudden did not want to have my baby in Colorado. And I wanted to go back home to South Carolina. It wasn't because I didn't feel safe or didn't have support. It was just I'd been through so much with my ex that I just wanted to leave, period. I had my son, and I've been such a great mom, and I'm so proud of him, and I love him so much, and I want him to know that it's never too late to do the right thing. So in backing up what I say, I started to go to classes. I drop him off in daycare, and I would take these classes, because remember, I dropped out of school. I got my GED. I got my apartment. I've been so blessed. And even though everything that happened to me took me so far away from my faith, something only God knows happened, and it's bringing me back. Amen. Not saying this for you to have pity, but to just hear my story and know things can change. Miracles do happen. God is good.